It has been almost 2 weeks since there were 3 young children at a religious elementary school murdered, and 3 adults murdered there too by a trans shooter, a trans mass murderer. They also just found in Colorado another trans mass shooter who was preparing to go kill a lot of people. I would just point out the language that is being used by Democrats to convince trans people that they are being erased, that there is a genocide being perpetrated against them, is encouraging these trans people to rise up and engage in acts of violence. I'll just point it out. We still do not have the trans shooters manifesto, which we were told we were going to be able to see. This manifesto, it has been nearly 2 weeks since the trans shooter was thankfully killed by responding Nashville police officers. Why do we not still have that trans manifesto? I ask because the Biden administration has mostly pretended that 6 Christians were not murdered based on, I believe, a targeting of them for their Christian identity. Kamala Harris is traveling to Nashville now, not to aid in comforting the 6 that were murdered. Of course, Joe Biden still hasn't made it here because it was a trans shooter, but to focus on a battle inside of the Tennessee legislature. So, number one, the most important thing that can happen as a result of this shooting is the transgender shooters manifesto must be released, and it must be released now. Second part of this, there was an expulsion of 2 different Tennessee Democrats from the Tennessee legislature last night. I believe that let me give you a backstory because a lot of you don't know the backstory. The 3 Tennessee members of the Democrat Party in the state house took over the legislative floor for 45 minutes in violation of rules and shut down all actions and activities that could occur in the House as a result. This is the Tennessee state legislature. That is a flagrant violation. Speaker Cameron Sexton came on the Clay and Buck show today to explain that has never happened before in the 200-plus year history of the Tennessee legislature. No members have ever taken over with bullhorns the legislature for 45 minutes and not allowed activity to occur. Those members were protesting, demanding gun control be passed in the wake of the school shooting. There were lots of people also who were protesting inside of the Tennessee state capitol. It became a chaotic situation. Frankly, there were some comparisons, I think, justified to January 6th and what happened there. Okay, so Cameron Sexton decides, along with most of the members of the Tennessee House Republican Caucus, that they are going to expel those 3 Democrats. They voted on that last night. 2 expulsions occurred. A woman was allowed to remain a member by 1 vote. White woman survives. 2 black guys are expelled. By the way, they can almost immediately return as members. It's not like they are expelled forever, right? They haven't been banned. They can be reelected. They can return. They violated rules. Several Republicans made the choice not to expel the white woman. I think that was a mistake. If you're going to expel these individuals, vote for all 3 or vote for none of them to be expelled. They all committed the same basic violation. So if you're not going to vote for the white woman to be expelled, I don't think you should vote for the black guys to be expelled. Similarly, if you're going to vote for the black guys, you should vote for the white woman too. I think this was a miscalculation. I think the fact that anybody changed their vote was an error. Either you believe they deserve to be expelled or you believe they don't. I think trying to split the baby, so to speak, here was a recipe for disaster. But I'm less concerned by this by far than I am the fact that we still have not had the release of the transgender manifesto. Again, you can believe, hey, they should have never been expelled. You can believe, hey, they should have been expelled. I'm fine with either argument, but I think all 3 of them should have had the same fate one way or the other. That to me seems very rational based on the facts that are at play here. Now, I definitely think it's amazing that Democrats are now in the same week where Donald Trump was charged with a felony and the Democrat Party is trying to put him in prison, that they would then say, oh, these Tennessee Democrats being expelled for a short period of time is a direct threat to our democracy. They can come right back. They're hardly going to miss anything at all. If anything, this vote just made them martyrs. But in the process, we still don't have the manifesto. And in the same week where Donald Trump was charged with a bogus felony and they're trying to put him in prison to argue that there's somehow some existential threat to democracy going on in Tennessee is a dishonest and, frankly, embarrassing take for anyone to adopt.